ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री अरुणाचलम। Good morning, dear seekers and devotees. I am very glad to meet you all once again through these question and answer sessions. Unlock the Jijñāsu in you. As I have told you, Jijñāsu means one who wants to know, and one who wants to have the utmost clarity about everything. He is called Jijñāsu. Even the Tamil poet Thiruvalluvar says, Karka Kasadu Ara Karpavai Katrabil Nirka Adarkuttaha. Meaning, whatever we learn, we have to learn thoroughly, without any doubts. For that only, our teachers have been always encouraging us to ask questions. If at all you have doubt, you should ask question and you should get it clarified. So from the time immemorial, all our great teachers have been encouraging the students to ask question. Even the great Upanishads have always been the discussion between the student and the teacher. The student asking question and the teacher responding, replying. Even in Bhagavad Gita, if you take, Arjuna asking so many questions and Krishna clarifying. So in our Sanatana Dharma, there is always this freedom of thought. You are always encouraged to ask question. Only when you ask question, you get the right clarity. All your doubts will be clarified. Therefore, we have started this session. All these years, we have been giving lectures and you have been listening. Definitely, you would have more doubts. You would have questions to ask. That's why I thought to make use of this opportunity. We are all in lockdown still, though it is said unlock 1, unlock 2, but in most part of the country, it is still, things are not that easy. Therefore, to take this opportunity, I want to answer a few of your questions. But I tell you, I don't know everything. My knowledge is very limited. Whatever our acharyas, the Guru Parampara have taught, that we know a little. And also, there are different approaches, different way of looking at things. So therefore, there can be very many solutions. It's not that whatever I say is the final one. At the end of the day, whatever comes from within, after hearing me, it's only just an input. You have to think about it. And whatever comes from within you, whatever clarity you get, that is yours. So with this small introduction, we want to get into this question answer session. Today we are going to take a question from one Dr. Divya from Melbourne. She is a sincere seeker. She is a mother of a baby boy. She has named him as Krishna, a sweet child. And also, of course, she is a medical practitioner, a very sincere doctor. So she has asked this question. First, I will read out the question and then I will try to answer. Pranam Swamiji, your message has come to me like a blessing, as I have been trying to word this question for a few weeks now. It is very specific. Question number 1. I consciously see my work in the hospital and parenting to my son Krishna as my sadhana. and listening to satsangs by various gurus every day. So, I don't often feel the urge to sit down to pray specifically. What is the purpose of daily sadhana? What is the correct way to do this? So here, Divya is asking, I am doing my work, my duties as worship of the Lord. Is it necessary to sit and do some sadhana? Or what is the significance of sadhana? That is a question. Now to answer her, it is very good to perform your duties, whether it is official duties or household duties, as worship of the Lord, as Ishvara Aradhana. That is how we have to do actually. I really appreciate that. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this attitude of doing the day-to-day mundane activities also as worship of the Lord is karma yoga. That is very good. That leads to the chitta shuddhi, meaning purification of the mind. So that is the way to go, and you are doing the right thing. I am very glad. But this is not enough. You know why? Because though we say we are having this right attitude, that is doing all the work as worship of the Lord, but still, please understand, in the heat of the activity, with rajas overtaking us most of the time, we often forget. We often forget why we are doing this work or how we should do this work. And invariably, we get entangled into the work. Meaning, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. It comes. It's natural, it's normal. But we may say, no, I have been always aware, but it doesn't happen, at least in the initial stages. Especially while raising the child, we often get too attached. Though we see as Krishna, we love, we really sincerely, we care, everything is fine. But this association, dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangasteshu upajayate, sangat sanjayate, this association again and again associating with so much of love, with so much of care, we always get attached. And we most of the time forget that we are only playing a role. We get entangled. So, this is not enough. Therefore, we need to sit every day, at least 15 minutes in prayer and half an hour in japa or meditation. You know why? Because the prayer or meditation, that quietens the mind, and also it generates a lot of sattva in us, that sattva guna in us. Sattva gives the peace of mind and clarity, that awareness. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi says, that sadhana what we do in the morning, say for half an hour or 1 hour, that generates an undercurrent of sattva. That continues throughout the day. And that helps us to increase the awareness in us. And that is how we can avoid ourselves falling a victim of this rajas. So therefore, sitting for 15 minutes in prayer and half an hour in japa or meditation is very essential. Maybe during weekends, we can devote more time in prayer and meditation. I know you are a good singer, Divya. So it's a great blessing actually. So therefore, you can devote more time in singing the glories of the Lord, in taking the name of the Lord during the weekends when you have more time. That actually deepens the sadhana, and not only that, it helps you to melt in love for Him. That is very, very important. And you have mentioned that you have been studying scriptures and also listening to a lot of lectures from various teachers. That is really good. That is the way to go. That gives you a lot of clarity. That gives you a lot of depth in your sadhana. But as you know, it is not enough just listening. It's very, very important to independently reflect upon those ideas. The contemplation, the manana is very, very important. In fact, our Acharya-ji, Swami Anubhavanji always used to say, half an hour if you study or if you listen, 23 hours you have to do independent reflection on those ideas. So first of all, you should be very passionate about knowing this great truth. For that, you need clarity. That clarity comes out of scriptures and out of Guru's Upadesha. Not only just listening, but also contemplating. That is very, very important, to think about it with Shraddha and Bhakti. Again and again to think about it and then to meditate upon it. That gives you the ultimate clarity. So, with this sadhana of doing all the activities as worship of Lord, singing the glories of the Lord, and meditating, and study of scripture, and contemplation upon the ideas of the scriptures, that really helps you and that takes you forward. This we can and we must. There is no compromise. Just telling that, no, I am doing all my activities, my duties as worship of the Lord is not enough. We have to allocate some time every day and we have to do serious prayer and meditation. And when we listen to scriptures, we have to contemplate on it. That is the way to go. Is that okay, Divya? Now moving on to your second question. Swamiji, I have been given a small idol of Mahameru by Amma. And she has asked me to do a small puja for it every Thursday. I have received no formal teaching in doing a puja, and as such, I do a simple abhishekam with milk and flowers whilst chanting the Lalita Sahasranamam. This exercise to me is an opportunity to worship the Ishvara manifested in the small idol and spend the time to quieten the mind. I try to be consistent, but I do not feel guilty if on occasion it gets missed or delayed to the next day. Also, I have heard from several sources that a Mahameru is very potent and should not be taken lightly as far as sadhana is concerned. I would like to know of its significance, as I do not want to be guided by fear or guilt if my mind is not fully invested in the sadhana. This is a question from Dr. Divya. Divya, it's very wonderful to do a simple abhishekam and worship of this Mahameru along with Lalita Sahasranamam. It is very beautiful. You should know this Sri Chakra or Mahameru is part of Sri Vidya Upasana and it is very powerful. It should not be taken lightly. You know, in this Sri Vidya Upasana, it involves three things. One is mantra, the second one is yantra, and the third one is tantra. Here, the mantra is the Shodashi, which you have to take initiation from a competent teacher. And then yantra is the Sri Chakra or Mahameru, whatever. That is a very beautiful, wonderful yantra. To know more about it, you can read Saundarya Lahari along with the explanation of Mahaperiyava. Sri Chakra is a very powerful tool to invoke the grace and blessings of the Divine Mother. And Tantra is the Kundalini Yoga, to invoke the Kundalini Shakti from the Mooladhara and take it to the Sahasrara. It's a technique. You should learn it properly. If the Upasana can be done with proper initiation from a competent teacher, it is really wonderful, very helpful in the path of self-realization. But you should understand, it is a very serious worship with lots of mantra japa and time-consuming rituals. For a person leading a fast-paced life, it is very, very difficult. So the way you are worshipping with sincere heart and simple puja with chanting of Lalita Sahasranamam is fine. I tell you, chanting of Lalita Sahasranamam is very auspicious. The glory of the Mother of the universe is very purifying and uplifting. And also I want to tell you, don't feel guilty or scared. If you approach the Mother of the universe with pure heart, she will be very pleased. She will forgive all your shortcomings and she will bless you. So don't worry, you continue doing the puja as you do now for the Mahameru with Lalita Sahasranamam. Have you heard the story of Kannappa or Meera? Pure loving heart is what the Lord expects from you. வெள்ளைப்பூமல்ல வேறு எந்த மலருமல்ல உள்ள கமலமடி உத்தமனார் வேண்டுவது. Meaning, the Lord expects only a pure, simple heart from the devotee. So if you have got the true devotion, if you have got Shraddha Bhakti, then go ahead and do the puja as you are doing now. It will really help you. But if you are taking it as a serious upasana, then you have to take initiation from the competent teacher, and then you have to do the mantra japa, the Shodashi, and then you have to do all the rituals as per the prescribed rules and regulation, and then you have to practice this Kundalini Yoga. That is a marga by itself. That is a path by itself that can take you to the ultimate. But if you are not that keen on this kind of an approach, you can do it as a simple worship of the Lords in that Mahameru or in that Sri Chakra with simple Abhisheka and chanting of Lalita Sahasranamam. It is wonderful. So thank you so much. This is the way we are going to go. Every day we are going to take up a question or two from the devotees all over the world, and we will try to explain whatever we know. And I tell you again, it is not the only solution or the only answer. You can think about it, and whatever clarity you get from within, that is the real answer. So thank you so much. Every day you will be getting this audio clip, maybe for 20 minutes or so, at 7:30 in the morning, Indian Standard Time, so that you can listen to that anytime you want. And if you have more questions, you can always send it to me across. Thank you so much. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Krishna Krishna Krishna.